Looks like a little baby redfoot just kicked his little leg through there. We need to take these little guys, put them over here. This one's hatching out as well. There you could actually see how he uses his egg tooth, which is that little pointy thing right there, to crack the egg. And this one's going crazy. He's like, what just moved me? We could take a look at this guy's yolk sac. That's kind of like the umbilical cord for egg hatching animals. It's called a yolk sac. It looks like we have even more baby redfoots hatching out. It is a redfoot hatching party. And this one's especially cool because this is one of Abella's babies. You recognize that it's Abella's baby is those yellow legs. So instead of being red like, you know, the redfoots would be, it has yellow feet because it's a Colombian redfoot. This one's also Abella. Check that little guy out. They also have cooler patterns. Their shells are a little bit different. The redfoots always have a huge variety in color. It looks like this one back here is hatching as well. This one's number 11. Looks like all we're seeing there is the top of the shell. So we'll put this little guy in the corner here. Do one more little check. Looks like there's nothing else. And we'll check these guys in a few days and see how we're doing. Came to check on these little guys. So it looks like they will be ready to go into another enclosure now. And check this out, we also have some more hatching out. So we need to clean this bin up and collect all these little hatching babies and put them in here. Let's go ahead and start separating these little babies and all these eggs. Just throw those out. As long as they're flat and not dragging anything around, they are good to go. Let's see, all these are pretty closed up, so there's no problem with any of these. This one's a little bit more opened up, but it's still flat, so he's good to go. Good to go. And wow, there's a lot of little baby redfoots hatching out at the same time. It's been a while since I had my last ones hatch out. That little window when the season ended and the new one started. This must be when the new season just begun. So that's why there's so many babies hatching out of nowhere. So this guy has it a little bit less closed up, but he's still good. They're going to be going into a clean enclosure with soft substrate. I'm just going to go ahead and dump all of this and get some fresh moss for the new babies. So I've been soaking these little guys for a few minutes now. This little guy and this egg, I'm going to put into this container and let them absorb their yolk sac and hatch out of there. By the way, that little guy is the one that was here. None of these other eggs are hatching. I'm gonna check the other ones, but maybe from here we might have one. Other than that, there shouldn't be any. Oh, check it out. We do have some little redfoots hatching out, and we have a bad egg. Look at that. Now we definitely gotta take this out and clean it up. I think there might even be another bad egg inside of this container. So not fun. Let's deal with this. So the first step is to get these little guys out of here. This one already absorbed most of the yolk sac, so that means he's been hatching probably since yesterday. This little one's still coming out, and we'll just put him in here. Yeah, it looks like he might still have a good chunk of the yolk sac left. Oh no, he's already absorbed a good amount as well. I just want to make sure it has no flies, which they both look good. Let's take this little glob out of here. Dries up and gets sticky, which is why it's important to make sure these guys are very humid, because if that dries on them, it could cause problems for them. All right, no more eggs hatching out. I just need to take care of this bad egg and everything should be perfect. So it's been about 15 minutes. It's about time we take these little guys out and set them up in their new enclosures. So as you can see, setting up an enclosure for the little tortoises is very simple. If you want a more detailed video on how to set up your tortoises, make sure you head over to my how to set up a cheap tortoise enclosure video. But to give you guys a quick run through, you want a little area for humidity. This is the sphagnum moss area. Although it's not necessary, it's convenient because it prevents your tortoises from drying out, especially redfoot tortoises, which require high humidity. If these little guys don't get enough humidity, you'll see that their eyes close up and it's hard for them to open it. It takes them, instead of a few seconds to open their eyes when you pick them up, maybe a couple of minutes. So it's important to keep them hydrated, especially the redfoot tortoises. You always need a little hide so that they could get under. If not, they'll just hide into the corners. But something like this is nice for them. And then of course, the basking area with a UVB light and a heat light. Under here, it gets up to 95 degrees. and you need the UVB for the vitamins. Now to add even more humidity, the same water they were soaking in, I just pour it back into the enclosure, and that keeps it a little bit more humid. And for all these supplies, you guys could head over to shadowsreptiles.com. On there you can find plenty of care guides for whichever species you need. If you don't see the species that you want to learn about, just shoot me a DM or ask me some questions, and I'll see if I can get a care guide set up for you. Put this hide over here, and it looks like there's 2, I guess you could say maybe 3, but if you look over here, the majority of these guys are in the sphagnum moss. So that just goes to show how important the humidity is for them and how they seek it for themselves. This guy's just chilling right there. And that's it. They're very simple to set up. Bad egg is this one right here. That nasty gunk. Take a close look in there. Very nasty. And this could make all the eggs around it go bad. So it's very important to pick it up. If there are hatching baby tortoises in this bin and the flies get in there, it gets really bad. I'm gonna get my trusty alcohol sprayer here. There we go. Good as new. That's why I like using these plastic egg containers more than what I used to do with the vermiculite, because it's super easy to clean them out. Whenever this would happen with the vermiculite, I would have to take out all the eggs and put them into a new container and switch out the vermiculite, which is not fun to do. In this case, sometimes I'll switch containers, but when it's a controlled and small egg pollution like that, it doesn't get too bad. I could just clean around it like I did there. It's not worse. It actually didn't explode as badly, but the worms are not good. To the eggs, it doesn't do any damage, but if there were some baby tortoises hatching out in here and there was maggots like that, they get all inside of the yolk sac, which is not cool. I don't like that at all. I need to set up another shelf, and I need to find better systems so that I can more easily check and access the eggs, because right now I'm simply stacking them on top of each other, and it's not good to have it like this. It's not easy to get to them. Perfect timing to check these as well, because Shadow broke some. It looks like that egg broke. Now this one we cannot save, unfortunately. When a little bit of air gets inside of the eggs, it makes them crack from the inside. But this one, actually, no, I think this one's bad too. I was gonna say this one's developing because you see the white thing, but I think it's bad. Let's see these. But I think it's too soon to see them forming just yet. You can see veins, but can't really see the embryo yet. So it might be too soon to check on these. But this is no good. After a few weeks, these guys are ready for their new homes, and it's time to ship them off. Now to set up the little guy, we just need a deli cup. I'm gonna open this up, and this guy is a little bit smaller than the sulcatas, so we're gonna stuff this up really good so that he doesn't bounce around in here. Of course, we can't forget to open a few air holes so that he doesn't suffocate inside of the deli cup. And I did forget to mention, you have to do this without the baby tortoise inside of the deli cup. Just go ahead and take this out of here, put this little guy in here, and there we go. Now we get our special live harmless animal box. Open this up, and here we go. And this is very tight in here. This deli cup fits perfectly. This fits so nice and snug in here that if he tips over like that, there's no problems. Not gonna lie, I was a little bit scared to do that, but if I'm ever feeling a little bit uncomfortable about this, I simply stuff some packing paper in there and there's no problems at all. Put this in here. This just keeps them insulated. Put a Shadows Reptiles business card. If you guys want to learn more about this process, make sure you check out the how to ship your reptiles video that I've made. But the cool thing about these boxes is they're designed to carry a lot of weight, so that if anything heavy lands on top of this box, there's no problems with the shipment.